Hey friends, I want to tell you a brief little story. It won't take me but just a few minutes to get it out there. I recently had an experience that kind of stuck in my mind and I wanted to share it with you. There was a friend of mine who not too long ago had some heart problems and ended up in the hospital. And when I went to see this long-term friend, someone I've known for many, many years, he was sharing with me how I'm not afraid of death. I'm ready to go. And just as long as I'm useful. But as soon as I'm no longer useful, I'm ready to get out of here. And so I thought, okay, that's interesting. And I think I understand where they're coming from when they say that, when my friend said that. But then the unusual, interesting part of the story, for me at least, was it was just a few weeks after that, I was with a completely different person. This different person I was with didn't know the first person, had not heard what that first person said, did not hear what that first person said about being useful. And we were in a conversation, and this second person that I know, and I've known the second person for many, many years also shared, said, well, I'm happy to keep living as long as I can, just as long as I'm useful. And so these two different people at two different times and places saying the exact same thing about their desire to live just as long as they're useful really struck me. It really caught my attention, and that's why I've remembered it. And that's why I'm sharing it with you now, because I thought it was very significant. The one friend who was talking about being useful, he was in the hospital. Sadly, he's passed on since then because of the heart attack and some other complications. And the other friend is still alive and well and kicking. Now, I'm not passing any judgment on their saying they want to be useful. And I can't pretend to know what they even meant. They both might have meant totally different things from one another when they said, I just want to be useful. But based on the fact that I've known both of these people for many, many years, both of them come from the exact same kind of performance-based religion. Even though they both don't know each other, they're both out of that same kind of religious background, performance-based, works-based religion. And I'm very familiar with, and I understand that performance-based religion. I understand it very intimately. I've been in that for many, many years. So I suspect that I do have a rather deep understanding of what they meant when they said, I just want to be useful. And the idea behind that, as I understand it, is as long as I'm performing, as long as I'm able to work, as long as I'm able to do something productive, then I have value. But if I can't work, if I can't perform, if I can't function and do things that I believe are valuable, then I have no more value. I'm not of any use. So I might as well die. And I've thought a lot about that because that worldview, that mindset is something, as I said, I'm very familiar with. And I do wonder about that. Where do we get our value from? Are we valuable because we are able to live up to our own ideas about what it means to be useful? Or is it perhaps, whether we know it or not, whether we realize it or not, whether we believe it or not, we are useful. Just our existence is useful. Just to be here is worthwhile and has great value. Again, I'm not saying that I know what either of these two people meant when they said that. I just know what I understand to be the meaning of that coming from that particular performance-based religious background. And what's interesting about this, and the reason this stuck in my head and I wanted to share it with you now, is very recently, since then, I was listening to an interview where a particular celebrity, and I don't know this celebrity personally, but this particular celebrity was talking about their decision to retire from movie making. They're no longer going to be in the show business. And their justification or their reason for no longer being in show business, this celebrity said, well, I have enough, I've done enough, and I am enough. Now, I don't have any idea what this celebrity's background is or what or if they believe in a performance-based religion or what. I don't know. But as I thought about those two different ways of expressing where their values come from, I'm happy and I'm valuable and I want to remain around just as long as I'm useful, versus I have enough, I've done enough, I am enough. And again, I don't know what someone else might think about this, but for me, and I do identify as a very passionate follower of Jesus. So when I think about my relationship with Jesus, I think about my value system, what matters to me, and I think about which phrase best expresses who I am and what I believe. Is it, I want to hang around just as long as I'm useful, or I have enough, I've done enough, I am enough? For me, it's the second one. Indeed, because of Jesus, because of God and who God is, because of the fact that I'm created in God's image, I have enough, I've done enough, and I am enough. And I'll stick around as long as God wants me to, whether I'm useful or not. Who knows? Anyway, I just thought this was fascinating, and it really caused the wheels to turn in my own mind. Maybe this is helpful to you, maybe not, maybe give you something to think about. But either way, I hope you have a fantastic day. Talk to you again next time. Bye-bye.